All right, let's get it. Welcome back. It's just like a fake back because I never put the first episode out, but like it's coming out probably right after I put this out. But welcome to Black People Like Watching Survivor 2. We out here, we in the flesh. Okay, like we exist. Like we are strategic masterminds as well. We are super fans and we know what's going on. So the first episode, I really, have fun in the premiere, but this next one was crazy. And I mean it really wasn't that crazy, if we want to be honest. I feel like they was more playing with us. Like they was more so like, okay, we're gonna give you whatever we're gonna give you. That girl was going home, but from last episode, like it was telegraphed, and it wasn't telegraphed in a way that like the producers was like, okay, yeah, this girl going home next, but just how it was looking on that tribe, she was the next one out, and I actually felt like either her or Nicole was gonna go home, and Nicole went home. And sometimes you're able to bounce back from that, but this time she wasn't. Okay, it's your boy Ganjo, and I'm ready to take y'all through this ride that you about to have fun. Okay, in this one, we all about vibes. All right, we all about vibes. What they giving us on screen, and what I feel like they're going to hit on through the season. And I do like two different things. So I do like a Abby Miller type pyramid. I ain't got a name for it. It's Abby Miller type pyramid, where I go through and every trial get a pyramid. You feel me? That's just what type of time it's on. And then I go through and I feel like put them in my own little route, a winning route. And I'm also on Rizzo Watch. And so Rizzo Watch is Savannah and Rizzo. And knowing they about to be on Survivor 50, I gotta put them in a different lens than I put everybody else. And it's very, interesting to kind of watch their journeys along the way, because they about to be on our screens for these next two seasons. Get ready. I'm prepared. You feel me? I'm ready to eat whatever they about to give up. But I'm very intrigued to see what more we get out of them, since we got the second episode, and therefore. So without further ado, I put a little slideshow together. I'm getting used to this, and I'm getting used to like, trying to use my creative sense. And I do have a little slideshow. Hold on. I'm gonna show you guys. Let's get it. We in here. All right. So I'm gonna present this full screen. Present view. Full screen. Present. Okay. So I'm excited for this. You know, I like never done like a slideshow. I feel like I'm in a TED talk. Okay. Personally, I wish I could see my face, but I can't. So I'll figure that out later. So we got Survivor. Oh no, it's at a premiere. What? No, what are we doing? Oh my god. Hello. I'm already starting off to the bad start. I'm here. Survivor 49 episode 2. Woohoo, we made it. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. Yay. All right, so the second tribe, like, second episode, I got everybody laid out. I got Nicole face X'd out because, she got destroyed last episode. And what I might add about Nicole, I feel like she didn't try. Truthfully. Like I just feel like she did not try. It is a little more difficult when you are a woman. And I don't want to be toting this like Poe. You feel me? I don't want to be this kind of guy, but I'm being real here. Like it's harder for women early on because people prioritize tribe strength. So if you're prioritizing tribe strength, then the people who get knocked out the quickest and the easiest are the women. And especially if you ain't coming through in a puzzle type or any kind of like dexterity type challenge, girl, you are like useless to them, right? And you're not a threat late game. That's a thing for people. Like if you're not threat late game, there's another reason to vote you out. And to be honest, Nicole would have been when I say a zero threat, a late game jury, it's like you gotta get them people out early because people get too tempted with taking them far, and I don't like that. That's not like what type of time I want to be on, but people like that. So shout out to episode 2. I love this. But that girl, it was telegraphed that she was going home. But I got a lot to say about everybody else in the game. I'm so happy Hina, whatever they want to call it, got way more airtime. It's very important that, we got to see more of them. Even if it was a glimpse, I got to have such a better read on what potentially could be happening on this tribe. And yeah, they had a couple days and like we get so much, we get like hour and a half, but we're getting supposedly more fleshed out stories. But at the beginning, when I noticed that the Kelly tribe, everyone pronounce it, was getting all the screen time, I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna rate the tribal. It's over. Like I'm like, we seeing too much of them. And they are mess, but they not like fun mess. Like we're about to get some fun mess if they go back to travel. But we're gonna tone in on that. All right, we're about to get to the pyramids. Sorry, Nicole, you out of here. So on Uli Tribe, just as the last time, I had to put Savannah at number one because I put Savannah as number one at the Uli Tribe because she's really controlling shit over there. Like she's really understanding where she need to go in a sense. Like she knows who she need to target and who she can paint as a target. And we're gonna get back to it later. I was ragging a lot on Juwan in the last video. Like I was on his head. And y'all gonna see like I was like, bro, what you doing? And I felt like he had a lot to like prove, not to me, because who am I? But as a fan, I'm like, bro, show me something. And I actually feel like he showed me a semblance of, all right, I'm going to try to ingratiate myself. I really wish he would have took the Steeler vote because I do feel like they would have won that challenge without that. But what kind of lie he could have came up with, I can't tell him. I'm not a great liar. Like I'm an okay liar, but like I can't tell him what the fuck to do. Like in that sense, it's like, all right, bro, you gotta come up with something cute. But going back to the subject, Savannah is like really controlling what's going on over here. If they ever did go to tribal, it's going to be her decision. And even in the merge, I feel like she's going to have control in her tethers kind of through this entire group of people. And I think that's going to be very important. MC got shot up. I had her in like the bottom row pyramid, not because she did anything wrong, but it was really I had no information on the Henna tribe. And I feel like this episode, she showed me very good game ability. And the fact that she was willing to throw Matt under the bus after I also felt like Matt could be sus. I'm like, okay, good job. Throw them all under the bus. Be like, all right, Sophie, we own it. I actually had Sophie in this position last time. And I had Sophie because I felt like, one, we didn't have a lot of knowledge on this tribe. So I was pulling at straws. But two, Sophie gave me like, okay, people are going to want to work with her. And yes, the opposite happened, but also what my initial thought process did go through because MC herself went to Sophie and was like, okay, this is the rumblings what's happening. Sophie might only have to escape one vote and or one more vote for the other team where a swap might happen. So you never know. And then you have Jake on the Kelly tribe. I had him in this position as well, same spot. And I actually feel like he earned being in the same spot because his relationship with Alex. I think it paid off dividends where even though Alex was sparking up some kind of relationship, which we will go to later when we talk about Alex, with Annie, like he was kind of setting himself up where he actually had other routes besides Jake. And yeah, she was the easy one out. And yes, Alex could say he was never going to vote with Annie, but truth be told, she trusted him. And actually, I feel like Annie should have been targeting Alex. Like, truth be told, between Sophie, Jeremiah, and Annie, I feel like she was never actually going to get Jake out. I don't understand why she made that decision to target Jake. I think trying to target Alex was a better decision. And this was prior to him finding the beware advantage because if you think about it, if you target Alex, Sophie gets to keep Jake, Jeremiah keeps to keep Jake, and they still have a meat shield in front of you, but you get somebody detached from somebody else. Because when it's two people, it's hard to like, get through to them. You have to inherently target them both sometimes. But early on, when you target one, you still can have your cake and eat it too in a kind of sense. So Jake not letting that happen, and I actually also feel like Jake should have gotten the beware advantage when he didn't have a vote. And I think he said he didn't have a vote. So if you already don't have a vote and you can do these tasks, we can do these bitches together. We're going to do them together regardless. And I really would be like, okay, I will let you take it since you don't have a vote, but you give it to me so it's in my possession. Make that deal. If you don't want to do that, then don't give it to him. But he's probably gonna do that because that's your homie. You do that, you get the idol back, but you preface with us doing this situation together. We're sharing this idol. Like this is our idol. Like I just want it in my possession. T right. Sometimes you can get that through the people, sometimes you can't. But the point is, Jake is in a very good position on his tribe, and I actually feel like if they go back to tribal, there's no way Jake's going home. Specifically because Alex is there, but like Alex got idol. So like, or I don't know if they completed it. I kind of zoned out in that episode. Whatever. Maybe they completed it, but he has a potential idol if he didn't find idol, which I actually think he did find idol. But point is they got the idol and they're good. But I think Jeremiah is kind of on the outs there, which I actually felt like if Jeremiah stayed with this three, he kind of be in a bad position. But with that being said, this is my top three pyramid of the week. I do like them. They all did what they need to do and kind of put them in a good position. Okay, next tier, we have Shannon and Nate for the Uli Tribe. We didn't get that much from the Uli Tribe, but I do feel like Nate was acting a little nervous. I don't know what was going on with they and then like they still talking about warrior princesses, the island princesses. They're bored. Okay, like they're clearly the tribe that I feel like is just about to get personality. We're about to get more from their personality, which I like. Okay, I'm Team Savannah all the way, so I'm always gonna be Team Red. Like this whole team, I kind of like even the redeeming qualities of like I said, I was ragging on Jawan early on, but I really feel like he like not surprised me because like shout out to my guy, but I look at him like seafood, and we can get back on that when we get to Jawan, right? But I did like how Shannon and Nate are still positioned very correctly, and Rizzo is a part of that. Like there's only so many slots up here. I can, I don't want to knock Rizzo. He is on the next tier, but he's like close to Nate and Shannon. The other two are, more of like, okay, you guys are giving Sifu and J Maya. Okay. So we got the Henna tribe with Sophie and Christina. Okay. Sophie, it may look like Sophie's on the bottom, and like, I might be like stretching my neck out to be like, even when I didn't have information, I put Sophie on the top, and then when I have more information about people potentially targeting her, I still have her up top. But the fact that I have her up here is she has a strong enough relationship with someone where they're willing to be like, okay, I don't want this to happen, right? And I feel like I like Christina. I think she took the easy way out wanting to work with Matt and Steven. I think that's too easy. Like you have to do the work, in my opinion, to get the girls on your side. Like this is an easy all girls work with each other. At this point, you win two immunities, vote the guys out. Like I really think for Christina specifically, working with the girls is vital. Like she need to lock that shit in. Like because when the guys start getting taken out in the jury, she needs to have that. Oh, she's for the girls. I want to work with her. So I think Christina needs to shift gears heavy. Like Matt is going to be the downfall of everybody's game. I'm sorry. Like I don't. It's something about Matt where I just feel like I would never be able to trust him out there. So it's like, okay, what are you doing, right? So you got Christina and Sophie, and I just feel like Sophie, yes, they're targeting her, but I just don't think Steven has any clout, bro. I just don't think he has any clout. And I think Jason not being a part of a lot of those conversations, it's very interesting. And the fact that he's not means that he's probably more aligned with MC than anything, or Sophie than anything. So it's like that's not connecting on on the same wavelength. Hopefully he's not a sheep. If he's a sheep, then he's flocking to them and it doesn't matter. And then that's the 4 plus 1, right? Plus Jason. But if he's not a sheep, MC Sophie and Jason can do something against that squad. I'm telling you, if they take out Matt, they will be in a very beautiful position. Like I don't know what it is about Matt. Something about him I just can't get with. But no hate. And then on the Cali tribe, you have Sophie and Alex. Last week I had Alex like down, and I had Sophie in kind of like the similar position, same position. I do feel like Sophie, I don't know if she was not able to nullify that threat of Annie being weird towards her, but Annie was being so weird towards her, and you're trying to target Jake, but somehow Sophie gets the brunt of everything. I do not like when people do that. Like, go with what you was trying to do. Like, at least go out the game knowing, okay, I'm trying to go for certain people. Like, I'm not even like a big Sophie defender. I like Sophie. Like, I'm fucking with what Sophie doing over there. But like, I think if Sophie does not acknowledge what position she's actually in, it could get dangerous for her in the end game. And with Sophie, I feel like I like where she's at right now because she's sandwiched between two guys that are always going to get targeted over her. But what happens if people think one of them have an idol? They're going to target her, right? But if she has full control over both of them, then it's a whole different ball game because she can militarize them to do what she wants them to do. Alex found a beer advantage. Shout out to him after the flop that he did in the first challenge, the little supplies challenge, which I feel like probably inherently kept his tribe from winning immunity both times. That was a big blunder where I'm still looking at him so sideways, but I did like the fact and I did appreciate the fact that he had Annie directly on his side. Like Annie actually should have been targeting Alex. That would have been the easiest target because it makes no sense for Jeremiah to go to the floor with these three, especially if it's already a sinking ship. All right, we already going down. Like we gotta keep Annie at this point. Like you didn't fucked up. Like this is an unfortunate situation, but you have to shift. And I think Jeremiah didn't shift hard enough. And I feel like Jeremiah is setting himself up for a bad situation, truthfully. Like I think Sophie is locked in over there, but Jeremiah is not. Like, and that's just my humble opinion. It might be a 4, but they're at 4. So what happens if you lose again? You're out of here. You don't have the idol. They're not fearful of you having an idol, and they're going to just vote 3-0 out. And then they're probably whatever go to merge whoever if they make it there, right? So let's go to the final tier. Like I explained before, specifically with Rizzo, going back to the Uli tribe. Oh, Rizzo is damn near neck and right between Shannon and Nate, or neck and neck with Shannon and Nate. And it's, obviously, like, I think that 4 is going to cause some damage. Okay. When I say some damage, bro, like bulldozer, boom, 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 all in a merch. I just feel like they're going to be the most contained. I think, like, on the Kelly tribe, I think Sophie is going to end up like, okay, I actually do need to get one of Alex or Jake out and or both. But I don't see that happening with that 4. I think Savannah is so strong-willed, and she understands her position enough to not be fearful of the people she's around. Like that's actually not a superstar alliance because I think Shannon gets a little more. I like Shannon. Like I don't want this to sound like I'm ragging on Shannon, but I feel like Shannon is like either going to win the game or just completely not get respected by the jury. It just depends on what she does. Like you can only be so nice and people care for me to be like, all right, you gonna win the money, right? But like I do like what she's doing right now because she's very likable and people want her in the game. Okay, we go to Jawan and Sage. Listen, I had Jawan after Sage last week. And I had him after Sage because I just need him to do more. You were almost a part of the major alliance that I feel like is going to push like the rest of this game. You feel me? The tribe that's gonna go crazy, and I think it's very vital and very important that you're a part of that. And somehow you got x'd out. And I just feel like that's not a good way or a good sign in your game if you're getting X'd out of something that you were almost a part of and then they included somebody else, right? Like you got introduced to you and then they kind of reneged on your application. Like they kind of took it away. And I think that's kind of bad. But I feel like this episode, he kind of did a little bit more than Sage. It's just giving they like Sage. Like she's like cute. They like, I like you. You're cute. Like I want to talk to you. I want to hang out with you. I think you could be very loyal, in the middle of the game. And I actually do feel like Sage will be a very good ally. I think Sage is very slept on in a sense that I think she would be very useful working with you. Like she would do what you needed her to do. Like she would at least vote in a way that you need her to vote. And I think like you can't, expect people to be able to like pull votes together per se, but you can always expect somebody to be like, all right, I rely on you to vote with me, and are you gonna do it? And I think Sage is a very perfect person to do it, right? But I think Jawan edged her out just a little bit by getting that tribe disadvantage. I think it's only going to get him this much. Truthfully, like that's only going to give you so much like goodwill. That's not like a permanent fix. Like Savannah, the head honcho, already throwing your name in the mix to be like, okay, you're a little mixy. You might can get saved for another couple days, but I kind of want you out. So that's a little dangerous. You need like a swap to, change something up, and you need to link up with some people that's probably also on the bottom, because somebody that's on like a top, they're not going to want to keep you. Really, you have to really be in a disruptive position to break up the game. Correct. Okay, and then now you got the Hina tribe. You have Jason. I'm not getting enough of Jason, so I can't really um judge his gameplay that much. Besides the fact that he's just a happy guy. But there's a reason why all three guys are on the bottom here. I just feel like they don't. That's why I'm saying like this tribe is like the girls tribe. Like I don't understand why they're not all linked in. Christina, you need to get it together. You need, and I'm a guy. Why am I toting this? I'm toting this because I don't think it makes sense for you guys not to be working with each other. You didn't win 2 challenges already. You don't need the guys. At this point, you don't need guys. The other team is going to be going for their big guys, and or the other tribe that's not that tribe that has the big guy is going to be going for their big guys. So the big guys are going to be going at it, right? You don't really need big guys, but to soak up immunities or to soak up chances to get immunities or to choke to choke up like people being the threat of winning an immunity, right? That's the only time you want big players out there, but right now you really don't need them. And I think between Matt and Steven, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like I would actually I think Matt in the game is more dangerous for the 3 girls and Jason than Steven being in the game. I think Steven plays himself out. I think Steven gets to the end and like just like talks himself out of it. Like I just see it. Like I just don't think Steven. I had Steven, but I think Steven is probably the next one out of this tribe. But I don't think he should be. I actually feel like he's never gonna win. To be honest, like there's certain people that's never gonna win. I will say this: Steven should not be winning this game. Like I just feel like how he plays and him bringing like a lot of trauma into the game. I think it might affect how he's like thinking in the game. I don't know. I just don't see Steven winning. And if the motherfucker win, shout out to you. Shout out to you, my guy. I feel it. I never doubt a person for winning, but I do feel like Steven, he did a lot in that premiere where I'm just looking at him like, I'll vote you out. Right. But Matt, I think Matt, if they vote Matt out, I think this whole tribe is just in a better position. I don't know. I just think they're not going to get targeted as much as I would see if Matt is there. I think Matt is going to be a dangerous piece for them to leave in the game. Okay, and then you got Kelly Tribe. You got Jeremiah and Annie. You know how I feel about, I kind of mentioned it with Jeremiah. Annie, before I found out the vote, I'm like, okay, yeah, Annie going on. I don't know. It gave tease that Annie was going home, and even if she played a little bit better, I just think Alex should have like kind of been your target. Like, I'm sorry you linked up with the wrong person, but like I think between Sophie and Jeremiah, y'all should have been working together. And the fact that I know neither of them wanted Jake out this early, it made no sense. It made no sense to turn around and target Sophie. Like, it's just like, girl, what are you doing? I guess who are you going to target? Like, who you going to think vote on it? Jake, maybe. Who? Well, Jake, you say you want to vote out Jake. Please show that you was willing to do something that you were saying. Imagine you toting, we about to vote out Jake, and then somehow you end up voting out Sophie. Please, girl. That's what I gotta say. I do feel like Jeremiah might be on the outs of this situation. I think he thinks he's more linked in with Jake than he is, and Jake has to make a decision now. With Sophie and Alex, his like really number one, number two, and so Sophie think Jake is her number one, which is crazy. Where Alex, I would never share number ones. I'm sorry, I would say that with my whole heart. I'm not sharing one number one with anyone. You can have him. You can have her. You can have them. Whoever it is. That's not my number one if they your number one. That don't even make no fucking sense. Like, you're not gonna get me on that. And my let me not talk too much. But I'm not gonna be sharing my number one. Like, if you were the number one first, and I want you, like, and I want that person, who knows what's gonna happen? I'm gonna use you. As long as they trust you, I'm gonna use you. But you're not my number one. What I got to keep you for? But I would never be in that position. Okay, so let's go on to the next phase. I'm gonna show you where I had everybody in the route last week. So with Nicole being eliminated, she was in that little empty spot where the tree at. But this is my route. I had Shannon, Sophie, Jeremiah, MC, Christina, Jake, Nate. No, I lied. Nate, Jake, Christina, MC, Sage, Jason, Matt, and Alex. And I had Steven, Annie, and Jawan being like the next people, like kind of out on a tribe. And then on my Rizzo watch on the bottom. So Rizzo watch is Savannah and Rizzo. I cannot judge them the same way I judge everybody else. I just can't. Like, it don't make sense. Like, us knowing that they about to be on 50 is kind of like hard for me to do that. So what I did was I distinguished them between the other players as a separate watch. So I watched them in a separate kind of scope. I changed the lens specifically for them. And I think they're always battling who I feel like is kind of like the star, in my opinion, or the king or queen of respective episode, and or who I actually feel like has more potential to get farther in the game of Survivor 50. I'm very intrigued to see what they both do. Like, in this season, like, it's so interesting. Like, I loved like watching Ovid. It was a little different. I didn't know Michaela. I wasn't like deep into like the spear when Michaela and Zeke was coming back to back. I knew they were playing back to back, but I didn't know much about their like seasons, I guess. Or I didn't like plan to like, I didn't know that they were going to be on the next season until after the season. Right. I wasn't like locked into the fandom like that. So I just knew like, all right, after this season, Zeke and Michaela are coming back. But that type of vibe for Game Changers. But I'm very excited to see what Savannah and Rizzo do, because these are new people that we're seeing. Like, okay, before the season even start, they on the next season. Like, that's crazy. Okay, keep on. All right, so I want to start with Shannon. Sorry, I gotta put her first again, bro. She deserved it. I think her relationship with Savannah is going to be very strong. And I think her fostering a relationship with both Rizzo and Nate is going to also pay dividends for her late game. I do feel like people might start fearing her, but at this point, like, the real head honcho is Savannah. So, like, are y'all gonna get spooked by Shannon or take out Savannah? We gonna have to see what they do. But I'm very, you know, happy to see what Shannon is doing. And I'm like very intrigued to see what she, pulls forward out of her bag of tricks, right? And now we have MC. I do feel like MC jumped up in the ranks. MC showed me that not only is she doing well enough to be included in a alliance, but she's also able to have the outskirt people know that their name is out there. T, that's what you got to do. You got to let everybody know what's going on. Not everybody. Everybody don't need to know everything, but you have to know how to delineate information properly. And I think MC did it masterfully, where it's kind of like, okay, yeah, they're trying to target you. Even when you're not going to tribal, it's good to have her thinking about not you per se, and maybe somebody you actually want to get taken out. So I had to push MC up. That was masterful gameplay. I love that. So now you got Jake. This may come as a surprise, but his number one ally got a idol. Another person think they're his number one ally because she said he's her number one ally. So, and I'm not mistaken, I think Jeremiah also thinks Jake is his number one ally or one of the top ones besides like Sophie. He in there. I think he set up right now. And they're going to insulate him into the merge. Like they're all using him to the merge. So like right now, like you in a nice little spot, Jake. I think you need to like really lock in and mitigate your threat level as much as possible. I think you need to ultimately snitch on Alex for having an idol immediately because one, you want somebody else to look more threatening than you, right? And it's fucked up because that's your ally, but think about it. Like, you should snitch to the other people, and it makes you more safe if the other people think you have an idol and they know that you and Alex are close. So they think they know Alex has the idol and they know that you guys have been good the whole time. They will think twice, maybe even three times about actually targeting you. And you want them to, fester on the fact that you might do something that they don't want you to do. And if they fester on that, they potentially might not want to target you. And I think that could be like masterful for you. But other than that, I think late game, you have to do something magical to not be targeted. And it's crazy because no shade, Jake, but you would have to play like a phenomenal game for me to even vote for Jake. Like Jake, it's just like I'm just looking at him. I wouldn't take him serious. So many more people I would want to vote in front of Jake. So it's like, why are y'all scared of him? And but I think they will use him as a target. So we'll see what he do. But that's why I have him so high because I think he has playability and his shoe gate shit. Like it might actually work out. So I think he has a lot of promise, and we'll see. He's at least trying to do something. So now we got Sophie. I think Sophie's in a decent position. I think Alex is a little closer than to Jake than she realized. So that gave me a little skeptical, but she got out this vote easy. Annie was being weird with that vote, but she got out of it. And now she here. And I really feel like she one more episode. This is the pinnacle, bro. What happens at the final four of that tribe? Like, and right now she is in front of Jeremiah in my sense, and that's why I put her here. So I got Nate. Nate linked in with Savannah and Shannon, and Rizzo. It's like so many people I can put up here in front of Red Team, but there you go. And I really feel like, Nate is, building his portfolio. I just think he really needs to watch that Jawan connection. And I think he needs to solidify that before it gets to the merge, if they make it to the merge, because it's looking like they make it to the merge. They work very well together. And Jawan actually did make a good choice with giving the yellow team, the hen team, the disadvantage, not only because they had 6 members, but the blue team had blew everybody out and the red team was so far behind. It's like, okay, yes, you needed them to do that. And then the blue team just pooped the bed. I was shook when he did that. I'm like, bro, what was that? Like, did y'all try? And they tried, and they just could not do a puzzle. Like, production had to do them dirty because, like, think about it. They said we're gonna give them muscle, but they can't do puzzles. Alex finished the puzzle, couldn't figure it out though, and then they like struggle on tactical dexterity puzzle type things, and it's like, damn, that sucks. I don't know who the puzzle person was supposed to be, but they messed him up. But Nate's in the spot. Speaking of Alex, I do feel like Alex shot up in my rankings. I actually had him at the very bottom here before, not on the almost about to be out, but like on the bottom of the route. And every week the route gets shorter, right? There will always be three people on the side until it's merged, and then it's like nobody on the side, but like the routes get shorter every time, and then these are the next people I feel like are going to get eliminated. But Alex was close to that, but Alex, escaped that by getting the beware advantage. And like, before that, his relationship with Annie was kind of crazy because Annie should have been targeting Alex and she wasn't. And I actually do feel like that would have benefited her, but she decided that it wouldn't. Her fault, I guess. But type time. Whatever. But shout out to Alex. He kind of pushed himself forward, and I do feel like he has a little more promise, especially because he got that Beware advantage. He got that idol, and I think he's about to. Don't play it wrong, but you might have to separate yourself from Jake a little bit. Do something fun because he got too many allies. Now I got Christina. Not enough with Christina, but we do know that she's locked in at least with the alliance with Steven and Matt. The wrong people per se, but she's at least liked enough for that. With MC's also a part of that, but like she need to lock that shit in with the girls. She need to figure that out. Like they already over there talking. Sophie and MC already talking, but she needs to get it together, right? And then we got Sophie. Maybe I should have interchanged Christina and Sophie. Just think about it now. Like I'm just like, okay, I kind of put Sophie in front of Christina, but Sophie is the target. So I couldn't give her that much grace. I did have to put her high on the pyramid for like having the social game enough to know that she is the target over Jason, but that's crazy. But I do respect her game enough to put her in front of LOL, the people that's targeting her, except for Jason. But we move forward. Jawan moved up a lot in my books, bro. Moved up a lot. Listen, I was down. I like this Jawan. Like Jawan did something. I do feel like him getting a tribe advantage helped, but he ate them up in that challenge. I was telling him go for Matt the whole time. Jake's about to be done. Like go for Matt, go for Matt, go for Matt, because Matt's gonna go for Jake. So just be strategic with it. And he actually did it. He didn't need my help, obviously. I'm screaming through the camera, like, do this. But he did it right. And he did something that I felt like if he did not do that, he would have went home. It's just so bad of your social standing. I'm just like, okay, like, what are you doing, Jawan? But um you getting the tribe disadvantage for the other team, I think helped your stand out a little bit. And I had to put you here. Right. And I'm happy you moved up. I want you to do amazing. I want you to be number one. I want you to win. But you give me like seafood teas, bro. And to be honest, I ain't like seafood. So like it's hard for me like to get through this. It's like y'all give me you and Sage give me J Maya and Tifu. Like wrongfully staying solid with people you shouldn't be staying solid with. Like just make sure you make the move when you need to make the move, and then you gonna get pushed up in the ranks. But who am I, right? I'm just a black person that like watching Survivor. You feel me? And then we got Jason. I just feel like we don't have enough about Jason. Like it doesn't seem like Jason is proactive enough in the game. They're not showing us Jason. He's not a part of this like 3 alliance or 4 alliance. It don't seem like he's been talking to Sophie. He probably has been. I hope he has been because I need him, MC, and Sophie to get it together. Like they're spread out so much based on positioning within the tribe. Even though I feel like Sophie is somewhat of a target, it's like the easy, let's keep the strength. But I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm taking Sophie over Jason any day, truthfully. If we really choosing between, if we in that lane, I'm taking Sophie. You know, I just feel like she's gonna give me more. You feel me? But shout out to Jason for being there. But at the bottom, because I got some teas for you. And then we got Matt. Okay, Matt barely made here. Okay, Matt. I just think like MC snitching on him is so funny, and I think MC specifically not liking Matt is like she clocking. She understands what's going on, and I'm on the same type of time. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, if you take out Matt, you're good. Like, you see the threat here, okay? And MC sees it, and clearly Christina don't see it, and I don't know how she don't see the blaring red flag with Steven, bro. We'll get to that in a second, but with Matt, like he is like he- he's not like a foil because like if you look at Big Brother season 27, people are not gonna agree with me when I say this, but I feel like Jimmy was Mickey's foil, and then Mickey became Rachel's foil because I think if Mickey was still in a house during that like game bullshit that they pulled on Rachel, hmm, they really pulled something on Rachel. You feel me? That was crazy. Going home without a vote is nuts. I'm being real. Like, your whole game is about voting people out between two people. She had like zero chance to campaign. And people think a back door is brutal. Imagine if you go home because you can't make a hamster wheel go. And to be honest, Rachel, you supposed to be a competitor. I know you're a little older, but that's no excuse. You should have been able to get that ball somewhere. I think the fear inside of you got to you. And then, she went through this. I'm not trying to remind nothing of the trauma, but like the way you went home was bullshit. Like the way Rachel went home was like complete bullshit. Like I'm never denying that. Like, going home without a vote is kind of asinine, right? But the fact that she couldn't push that wheel nowhere, I'm just looking at her like, girl, spin that bitch around, figure it out. All right. So now we got some Rizzo watch. Okay, we got Savannah and Rizzo. Who y'all think I'm gonna choose? All right, I chose. Okay, and it wasn't really that difficult for me. I just think like it's hard early on to separate these two. Like they get like a lot of decent edits, and Rizzo being firmly in this alliance is like perfect. Like I think that's like amazing for him. Like he don't need airtime for me to see that he's locked in and he has good relationships, right? But Savannah, she got it, bro. She really got it. Like I just feel like her just being in control of this tribe is like what you want to see from, I guess, a survivor like player, especially like somebody that's going crazy. And I think like this tribe, like it's very unfortunate that we have to watch it this way, and not in a sense that I'm mad that we get Survivor 50 because I would never say that. I love what they about to give us. We're getting fed like the entire time. I think every episode is going to give us something, and y'all gonna be shook. Like I think we're all gonna be shook. Like hands down, I think 50 is about to give us what Winners at War was supposed to give us. Like that's really what I think is gonna happen. So shout out to Savannah. I think she went out here. I think she is giving me. I'm the bigger star. Rizzo might just have the bigger name. I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it too much. But, who knows? Shit, who knows? I don't know. I don't want to say too much. I'm gonna stop. Okay. So Annie went home, right? Bye, Annie. Like you had no chance, and not in the sense that you had anything to do with it, but like I just feel like you stood a lot of no chances of doing well in this season because of the tribe you was on. Like I just felt like you kind of was asked out. And then you played it bad by trying to target Jake. I think that was the worst choice. Like I don't know why you thought Jake was gonna be a good target. Like, can you read the board? It's all about reading the board out here, Annie. And I feel like you didn't read the board exactly who to target. I think even though you was locked in with Alex, I think Alex became somebody who you should have been kind of focused on and switching your direction to, because Jake is too linked up with too many people. All the people that's left like Jake. They may not like each other that much, but they like Jake. So I think Alex would have might have been better, but then it's kind of sour to target the person that you've been cool with. So, it's just like, okay, what do you do? Right. And then, Steven, he about to be out this tribe. He either is gonna get eliminated out this tribe while it's still the tribal phase, or he's gonna get destroyed during the merge. Because it's like plain. I don't. It's not plain sight. It's not a telegraph. He just give me he doing too much. And then you got Jeremiah. I feel like that was a bad choice to let Annie go home. I think it was a bad choice to let Nicole go home, but that's like explainable because like challenges and like truthfully, what was Nicole gonna do for this team, especially in this challenge? What was Nicole gonna do? Like truthfully, like we got to be real here. Like they took Nicole off for a reason. She wasn't in shape, bro. She just wasn't out there ready to compete. Annie Loki wasn't either, but I don't think Annie was holding him back as much as Nicole would have or was type shit. Like, I feel like you wait all this time to get on Survivor, figure this shit out, bro. Like, come at least in shape, being able to run, being able to do some cardio, being able to do something, do it together. And then you got Sage. I think, Sage was like, Jawan was in his position last week, and Sage actually pushed herself down because she's just likable, and it's just like, okay, you're likable. What is that? Like, don't make a fuck. Like, people care, but they don't care. So, we'll see what happens with Sage. But I actually do feel like she's probably the first one out. But like I said, they give me J Maya and Sifu, and they went out back to back. Like for some reason, just give me J Maya and Sifu. Maybe it's the red team. Maybe it's like the same type of vibe. I think they own the four people. It's just giving rinse and repeat. But we'll see what really happens. I'm very excited about this season. Like for sure. Like it should be good. And I'm very happy that I'm podcasting about it or making videos about it because it makes me happy. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for coming to Black People Like Watch Survivor 2 and TTYL. Bye.